You're listening to iCannabisRadio.com.
I brought some brownies for you. They're cosmic brownies, bought at Walmart. Please take these in my appreciation for your efforts and your biasness.
Machine rage against the all crematory, incinerating your mentor. Her body, Mr. Miyagi, Daniel's son. I am the son. I just dipped it in wasabi. Hot pokers penetrate your center. Conceived in a mini solar system inside my mama's placenta. Gave birth and Mount Vesuvius erupted. Black Roman candle, the wrong nigga to fuck with. Wrath is so far past on fire. I'm simply ashes, CO2 gases. How the hell he body surfing on a heat wave? And I got 5 on it like weekdays. No Prop 19, no salad bar. But feel the ag, talk to the trees like Avatar. At the bar with a cup of fire water, like Hiawatha. But I am darker, the giant chalker.
You should know by now. I'll burn it all to the ground. They know, they all know. I'm a burning man, I'm a burning man.
Hand me the bong, I'll wipe out your dispensary. Smoke like a chimney, fuels my creativity. Banned in Arizona, legal in California. So I inhale kush, I put kids in a coma. I'm that guy rolling Bob Marley spliffs, getting rich with a hemp-wearing chick smoking my boner. And you the guy on the couch eating chips, wearing the same damn clothes for a week, fucking stoner. Burn my CD, it just burns when you pee. And all you see is smoke like Wile E. Coyote. No peyote, but I'm hotter than Black Rock City, Nevada. That's cause a boy spit lava. Rescue me, Dennis Leary, with no water. See you in hell, drinking a pina colada. Slayed half the girls on campus, no degrees. But that's how I conquer college in 3 weeks. 10 West, doing 30 in the fast lane. Half baked all the way back to LA. Rolling like Spitfire, don't mind me, I get tired. This not Miami Heat, Lakers fan, West Sider. NBA jam, then shoot through them. Walking with the flamethrower like Duke Nukem. Y'all burn my image in effigy. Salute to the heroes of the NYFD.
You should know by now. I'll burn it all to the ground. They know, they all know. I'm a burning man, I'm a burning man.
Yeah, I'm a fire starter, young Drew Barrymore. Me a forest line, I do very more. This is heartburn, young niggas all the same. Induct my name in the Hall of Fame. Cause there's only 5 rappers who got flame. Me, Dylan, and Dylan. A nigga, we spit hot fire. Burn his bitch down like the London riot. See Austin, Calgary flame jersey. The Human Torch rap gang tried to ignore me. Faces global warming, your whole orchestra imposters. Time to start a fire at the opera. Solar plexus, I function with 7 chakras. Heated in the streets, we hopping out with choppers. Rumble, young man, rumble. I'm coming down with a fever, it's usually jungle.
You should know by now. I'll burn it all to the ground. They know, they all know. I'm a burning man, I'm a burning man.
John Doe Radio.
Radio.
I know you don't smoke weed. I know this. But I'm gonna get you high today. Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
How much higher can you get?
Human brain is made for thinking, not fumigated. It's hardly a tinker toy for experimenting. Not fuming with drugs.
Why do we talk about marijuana? It's the single biggest drug that is a source of some confusion.
This is really about educating the public about the fact that marijuana is a less harmful drug.
Marijuana, that's to get high.
You can be as high as you want.
Prohibition of marijuana over the last 71 years has not actually prevented you from using marijuana.
You feel weak.
Closer to winning the war.
I do believe there have been some successes.
We will never arrest our way out of this problem.
Welcome to the John Doe Radio Show. I'm your host, John Doe, hanging out with Bike, our co-host, Especial here. Do what I can. It is a Friday here in the Mile High. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. iCannabisRadio.com. It is the John Doe Radio Show, live Monday through Friday, 11 to 1. It is a lazy Friday because I am definitely feeling lazy today.
Because we got no oil.
I was feeling lazy before this anyway.
Wow, long night.
Came in and fell asleep.
I saw you on Facebook at 7 o'clock this morning.
It was earlier than that.
I can barely hear me. Can you hear me?
It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. Get over it. I can hear myself.
I don't like not being. I might as well just take the headphones off.
Well, then take the headphones off.
Then I can't hear my favorite song.
There
you go.
Maybe I don't want to hear loud things today.
It's all good.
Anyway, today we talk about news because there's a lot of situations happening with the Colorado Amendment 64 situation and all that crazy jazz. And look at, they got like CDs this year for Bongathon. Chris Jenner was on iCannabis Radio yesterday on the Hemp Connoisseur show, David's show. So there's some Bongathon things in here. What, this is like a CD of like a directions to get to it or some shit? No. What if it is something private you're not allowed to have?
I just want to look at the cover. I'm not going to insert it. And I don't even have a CD-ROM drive in this.
Here, you can look at this
computer. I don't want to look at that. Don't try to throw me off.
Here. There you go.
Thanks. Let me see that disc.
Give me that one. If you're not going to look at that, then here.
I just want to see what it looks like.
30th annual invitational Bongathon, private camping event, 420 fun and games, complimentary beer, bunch of live bands, August 2nd and 3rd, South Park, Colorado, legalized for the good of the community.
This guy's holding
bong-a-thon.com.
This is a Jenner bong right here. This guy's holding. See what the...
Yeah, I know. I've seen Jenner's bongs. I've seen him. I know what's up. Yeah, that's cool. Mile High Paws. Jason's sponsoring this part of it. That's funny. Lab 710, a football. Always by Colorado. Daddy Danks. Colorado Project. Pipes Peak.
Pipes Peak? Are they down in the Springs?
It's got to be in the Springs. Pipes Peak.
Hey, it's always cool to hear that we got listeners in weird states. I said weird because
listeners in weird states. Yeah, hi.
There's a lot of weird.
You're hanging out with us from a weird state.
There's a lot of weird states. Well, when you're from Massachusetts and you move to Colorado and you're surrounded by states like Wyoming and Nebraska and
you're a weirdo.
Kansas, it's bizarre, dude. It's a trip.
You freaking weirdo.
Yeah, but it's a trip to think about that. My buddy Mean Ween is up in Montana listening to us right now. And they got no dispensaries in Montana.
There's a lot of people in Montana that listen to us,
Dude,
actually.
Well, now that I know for a fact someone is, it's trippy. Imagine being in an MMJ state with no dispensaries.
They did. They had it fantastic for quite a while.
Now they got none. You can't have it too good. They take it away.
A dispensary got firebombed up there.
What?
Somebody threw...
Was it Westboro Baptist Church?
Somebody threw a Molotov through the front window of one of the dispensaries one time. We read it on the news.
How did it read?
Somebody threw a Molotov through the front window.
Did it read well?
And they were pissed.
Was it hot? I don't like that you turn this down again, but I'll deal with it.
Deal with it! It's too loud in my ears.
Deal with it.
Gosh.
Was it supposed to be my issue that you have these issues? Sounds like your issue to me.
I don't know who keeps messing with my levels on my mic thing here.
Dude, 6 dispensaries got bombed in Montana, apparently.
6?
According to my man on the street in Montana, up in Billings.
It wasn't 6, was it?
Yes. A guy who lives there is telling me this.
Wow. Hold on.
I'm holding.
I'm going to do quick.
You got work to do. 2 in Missoula, 3 in Butte, and 1 in Billings.
There's 2 here in this story. It says
that's Missoula.
Like May of 2010. May 2010. Damn. That's crazy, dude.
Just imagine Pink House getting firebombed.
No comment. We're going to talk about news today.
Yeah, we do.
And we will have Chris Jetter from Bongathon on sometime within the next couple of shows.
Yes. Just drop the Chris. He's just Jetter. He's one of those one-name
I know he
people.
is, but still, I'm going to call him what I want to call him. I've probably known him longer than you have, dude.
He says his friends call him Jetter.
I'm not his friend.
Well, call him Chris. I don't care.
I will.
You ever been out to his silo where he blows glass?
No.
I have a couple times.
But you think that makes you special, doesn't
I
it?
bet you just thinks that I love watching people make glass. It's cool.
I've seen quite a few people make
That
glass.
makes you 10 times quite a bit cooler than me.
Exactly. If that's how the equation is fit, then I won this hands down.
You win. You're the winner.
I could bust out like any given number. I could bust out any given number of names.
Winning.
And I'd be winning.
Yeah.
Being able to see them blow glass.
Bang a 7-gram rock. Winning.
All right. Today in news, we'll talk a lot about Colorado's marijuana regulation, Amendment 64, coming into play.
Coming at you.
Currently, as far as
silly rules.
As far as I know, as of 11 o'clock Friday.
That's today. 12 minutes ago.
May 3rd. As far as I know, as of now, May 3rd, today, twice now, 2 times.
Oh, it's twice.
In
2 times a Mayday.
At the end of the... It got tagged on to the end of the regulatory bill that was kind of the consensus bill, the bill that everybody thought was going to be able to get through pretty decently easy, the DUID bill. Got tagged onto that. So it's there. But then yesterday, they just completely add a whole new DUID bill. So twice now DUID is in play. At the same time, in the legislature, the House, I'll read you stories here. The Colorado House is just hell-bent on adding this to the mix, and the Senate is like, no. No. Innocent people are going to be harmed because of this law. We're not going to go with it. But the House is like, fuck that. We're running with it. But here's the deal. The reason why they took it and made it its own bill, because everybody and their mother recognizes that if they kept it in the regulatory bill, tagged on, that this regulatory bill would have never passed. Too much argument. They have less than 1 week. 1 week to regulate this system in Colorado. Otherwise, Department of Revenue, Miss Numero Uno in charge, Mrs. Numero Uno in charge over there, gets to take over the whole damn thing. And you know what? I hope she gets to do it.
And then what?
Because actually, maybe we'll have some decent regulation. No, I'm kidding. We do have decent regulation. I don't want anybody to think that this is anything more than just nitpicking. Well, the DUID one is absolutely something we should fight. But any other of these so-called silly rules are being really nitpicky. And a lot of them are silly. You know, it's like they're grasping to the last grips of prohibition and fear-mongering. Be nice to see that all go away. But things are going fantastic here in Colorado. They really are. A lot better than I thought they were. But the thing is that I'm concerned, the one thing I'm concerned about is that legislators already went through this once with medical marijuana. They see how much the Department of Revenue is going to control everything. So really, they're just rubber stamping a lot of things. And then things that have come up over the past couple of years that are big issues, vertical integration, DUID, even the repeal situation got stomped out fast. So we really are not worrying about a whole lot as far as a successful retail system that's going to appear here in Colorado, because it's going to appear like that. It's just whether or not how regulated it is going to be. And I think that it's on the more well-regulated side. The piece that really pushes me over into this area of like, kind of gets frustrating, it's not going to be as good as it could have been, is the non-smoke clubs. Not being allowed to have smoke clubs here in Colorado, which is what the state legislature is wanting to do, and is included into the process. It would have been nice to be able to go with your friends, to go toke at a quote-unquote bar or at a club, hanging out, you know? Fun, cool game nights, happy hours. I mean, it could have been really interesting. It could have been one of the most interesting and out there, one of the crazy experiences of your life, if we had that culture, the coffee shop type culture that Amsterdam has. That would have just been so awesome.
Then
really
we'd have
would
to have a red light district too, though.
That could work too.
And I'm not talking about West Colfax.
That wouldn't work either. Nope.
Let's throw the hookers out here in Denver.
The hookers.
Hookers.
You didn't even sound at all like you were from Colorado in that statement. That one was complete Boston.
Hookers.
You transplanted that whole damn statement from the East. I think prostitution should be legalized.
Do you?
I do.
Why don't you get on that and make it Amendment 65?
Make it safer.
Amendment 65.
People are going to do it already. It's the oldest profession in the world. Why not regulate it? Make it safer for the people involved?
They do in Nevada and all counties except for Clark.
Some friends, when we were in Vegas last year, ordered a couple hookers. I had nothing to do with this. It's the first time anybody around me had told me stories of
the logo goes like this. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. As cheesy as it is, you're supposed to leave it there. Don't rewrite.
I didn't say who got them.
I know you didn't, but it's still supposed to stay there. We don't need that shiz here. That's what people go to Vegas for.
You don't think prostitution should be legal?
I don't care.
You know who else thinks prostitution should be legal?
Tell me.
The owner of this radio station. That you looking at me like you're surprised.
Do I look surprised? I think
you kind of do.
I thought that was a. I'm not surprised.
Georgia thinks that it should be made safer. I agree with her.
It's not a.
After she's done with cannabis, she says she's going to move on to.
She's going to be a madam.
Working on. God, she's going to wring my neck right now.
Well,
we love you, Georgia.
We are broadcasting out of a former porn studio.
Hi. That is true. Sometimes I forget about that. Like 20 years ago, porn was made right where we're sitting.
I figured, is that why when you walk into the men's room, the mirror and light and thing is so low, so it's like a makeup room where you sit down?
Yeah, there is like a little.
The
mirror
is like up to my belly button. There's
a makeup room in there. Yeah,
yeah, with those porn lights,
where you could like sit down in front of the mirror.
So 80s, yes.
This is so awesome.
Yeah.
Although I have never seen a porn from this location. Never seen.
How do you
one.
know?
I mean, I'm assuming that.
What did you use to stick these foam pads to the walls?
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
I don't either. What's on the other side?
Some 70s porn. All right. Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you're toking on something fantastic. Okay, so I guess we should talk a little bit about the edibles we had yesterday.
Weren't you still talking about something, or were you done?
What was it? I think I might have been done.
Okay.
I might have been talking about something, but you just completely sidetracked me.
Woot!
So the beer we drank yesterday was pretty good, actually.
It's tasty.
The first beer that I ever really enjoyed, ever, at all.
What?
Ever. I told you that yesterday.
Wow.
420 Select. What was the website again?
mjproper.org.
mjproper.org. If you'd like to order one, I don't necessarily suggest that you do, but they're actually pretty good. Might have this thing for a little while as a collector's item. The label looks like it might come off pretty easily. It doesn't look like it's going to withstand time. This looks like it's a printed-on label.
Nope, looks like it's printed at FedEx office up on Colorado Boulevard.
It would be nice if it had a better label.
Don't judge the beer by the label.
The collectability for this would be... that's a part of the reason why we ordered it. But anyway, 420 Select brew number 1, bottle number 50 here that we got. And then the cookies, which I left for the Hemp Connoisseur show with Dave and his show afterwards, and it looks like they did get into them. So I have to ask Dave how they were. They were pretty good. And after the show, about like half an hour after the show, I don't know, I only had one of these. I'm not sure if it's because I was tired as hell yesterday.
I slept 2 hours.
But one of these things kind of knocked me out, I think.
It was more the beer than anything, I think, or the combo of the two.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it was, but
I'm also not conditioned to be
was
drinking beers at 11 a.m.
Neither am I. Not anymore.
Never mind beer with weed in it.
But, like, I couldn't do jack yesterday. I was over at the shop, grocery store, trying to lift bales of dirt.
Trying to, or just
By the
doing
way,
it?
trying yesterday because I...
Do you get to play with that puppy over
tired.
there when you take a break?
Oh, yeah.
What's that dog's name? It's like he's like a big loaf of bread with legs that like waddles around between the grow shop lawn and our lawn here.
I'm just saying.
I got a good picture of him yesterday.
They call the dog MJ.
Yes.
So, it's a cool dog.
Mm-hmm.
And bit my glove yesterday and wouldn't let it go.
Oh, yeah.
I was like petting him. I'm like, that's a good boy. Or that's a good girl. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. And then and I was like, give me my glove back.
American Bulldog.
I think I get my dog back today, too.
You were saying something about that.
No, I think I have to.
Good.
My
I didn't even know you had a
just
dog.
being a pain in the... that's a whole nother story.
How old is your dog?
Chihuahua. She's pretty old.
Chihuahua.
She's about 10 or older, probably, by now. I got her from the Denver Dumb Friends League.
Yeah.
I figure out how to figure that situation out, too. That's a whole nother crazy freaking mess.
Yeah.
I'm going to sample that. And I'm going to play it as like a...
Do it.
Liner.
Sample stuff, please. Need some more samples, as long as you do shit with them.
What did you do last night?
What I did last night consisted of... Let me go backwards here. Well, I fell asleep, and before that I was awake. Not much. Not much. I'm at still like 97% with this Wook flu.
97% with the Wook flu?
Wook!
97?
Yeah, it's 97%
That's
gone.
pretty close to 100, dude.
97% gone.
You didn't walk in here like you were 97% good.
This is before I smoked any smoke that had cannabis in it. Burnt cannabis.
I smoked a bowl this morning, a half a bowl.
Uh-huh. How did that
out of
do
a
you?
bong.
Yep.
Took a couple hits.
Mm-hmm.
I need Earl.
Yep.
Hi, my name is Earl. And moving on to news.
Stop what you're doing, put everything down, grab your Earl, and come on down to 2130 South Bel Air Street.
Yeah, please come down and bring dude some Earl.
Ryan, it's not that important what you have to do.
Because he has...
Come down and bring us some Earl.
He has...
Dab with us.
You sound like sound like it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, dude.
I feel like it's 3 o'clock in the morning with no Earl. I see you LOLing.
I need one of those Denver Broncos foam brick things so I can just throw it at you.
What will that do? It'll just make me throw a real brick at you.
You might actually
Your Honor,
get excited,
I thought
though.
it was a real brick, so I threw a real one back.
You might get excited, though.
I probably won't.
My uncle has one of those bricks. It gets thrown at the TV quite a lot.
Your uncle.
Foam brick.
Speaking of your uncle.
Yesterday, dude, I tested out one of those little no-goo things.
With how?
I was like, all right, this thing says it's... I was like, how much heat can this thing really withstand?
Didn't we see a dude hit it with a lighter?
And
a torch at Cannabeer?
Well, what I did yesterday, I heated up the nail and then took a hit. And then, nothing's really going to get hotter than the nail that you have it on.
Sure.
So, I set it, on top of the nail, dude, and it
went
just
right through.
sat there.
It didn't burn?
No burn, nothing.
On a red nail?
Not on a red nail, just really freaking hot nail. If you would have, barely touched it, it would have been, you still could have taken a hit off of it. And it didn't melt at all. These things are nuts, dude. Actually quite impressed with those things. Some of them if you do get one, though, the little no-stick containers, make sure that the lid system fits right for you, though.
So you
may be disappointed with the lid system.
I need to go. I don't want to try that because I'm afraid of the smell.
It won't burn, dude. It's it'll burn if you put it in a torch, it's going to burn, dude.
Silicone con.
I don't know how much it does have silicone in it.
Oh, I forget what I was saying about your uncle. I remember. I just remembered something about grammar that had to do with an uncle that I thought was cute.
I don't know. You're weird.
I know.
I gotta sneeze.
I know. Look at the light. Careful. Easy.
Where the hell did that come from?
Inside of your mouth and your nose. So,
go ahead.
If you, just speaking of grammar, and a comma can make the difference, a very important difference of helping.
Random Friday for you.
Helping your uncle jack off his horse, or helping your uncle jack off his horse. Cannon. Don't help your uncle jack off his horse. Help your Uncle Jack off his horse.
I'm just gonna woosah.
I say grapefruit to stop sneezing, not oranges, but that's weird. I've never heard anyone else use a citrus word to help stop sneezing. Freaking bizarre.
Think of cows.
If you say grapefruit, your sneeze will go away.
Cows. You never heard that one? Cow.
Yep.
Time is getting tight for marijuana bills that outline... Oh, by the way, before we get to this, vertical integration here in Colorado is a big issue, a massive issue. It's one of the most talked about and contested and controversial issues.
Back asswards.
And the more and more that I'm finding out about this, I'm not going to go into it necessarily very heavily today and at least name names.
Why not? It's Friday. It's a slow press day. Probably will get swept under the carpet anyways, so have some balls.
I already got told to be careful a couple times.
Recently?
About this vertical integration thing.
See, I don't
because
have...
MIG is a
no
lot of
one's
money.
told me.
These are the big dispensaries. The big dispensaries are the ones that lobby for
What is
vertical
MIG?
integration.
What is MIG now?
Medical Marijuana Industry Group. We talked about them.
I know. So I'm trying to get you to talk about it now.
They're not great. They're lobbying.
Who's involved?
You're a dick.
I didn't know until you told me.
I can't name one place and then not name another, so I'm just gonna stay quiet for now. I'm doing some reporting myself. Actually,
careful. Tim is on the reporting tip, and if you see him, he's probably.
If I was really into the reporting thing, then there would be. I would make we would not have any friends. See, here's the deal: is what we have to figure out with
Tim.
all this stuff is how to make friends and report on things too. Because I'll tell you right now, one of the people that's involved in this that I've been hearing about having a huge push in vertical integration, pushing it into the mix, is a big company that I personally really, really like, and this bums me out like crazy that this would come to light. I'm not so much surprised at a few of the other names.
Were there some that did surprise you?
Yes.
Were there some that you were like, who the hell is that?
One in particular that I'm like, damn.
The one you spoke about earlier? Or did you know about that
Maybe
one?
or maybe not. I kind of knew about it, but I didn't really pay attention to that situation.
I didn't really either until when you told me, and I was like, what the...
My thoughts on vertical integration is this. And obviously nobody really coming out to hang themselves.
Nope.
And it's hard to find out who's a part of it. Who gives what to MIG. I'd like to know everyone who pushed for vertical integration, even temporarily, here in Colorado. The dispensaries who did, I think, should be pointed out. Growers, hash makers, edible people, and more who should be allowed to hold their own licensing under their own companies separate from shops are the life of this industry, and it's a shame to see them held back. It's not the way Americans should do business, and it's far from open and responsible. A free market that we should have already structured for Colorado cannabis business a while ago. And that's my thoughts on it. And a few, lawyers, somebody said, and then vertical integration was off the table. Somebody said some rich guy hired a lobbyist to fight against it. It was put back in the rules and the request of law enforcement. So thank the cops. The cops did have part of it. But there are shops with a lot of money invested into it also. Heavily invested into it. So, let me, I'll position where I want to go with this and then roll with it.
Okay.
Well, see, here's the deal. Is like people that are employed with these companies are going to find out eventually. And then why would you be happy with your company if you're an incredible hash maker, if you're a great grower, if you make edibles that knock people on their ass? If any of these things. And then multiple other variations of licensing too, to be able to create your own business. If you're a dispensary right now and you have a great grower, you have great hash maker, you've built this vertical integration thing, which most of them have from the bottom up. Some of them cared about who they hired and didn't just hire some Joe Schmo, like my sister's brother's cousin who's been growing weed for 15 years.
Sure.
And he's only been through 2-3 cycles in reality. That's what happened to a lot of these dispensaries. They hired people that didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Mm-hmm. So to them, it may not matter too much whether they have vertical integration. They'd probably benefit from not having vertical integration, from being able to buy somebody else's product that's a wholesaler. But if you are a big dispensary, you want your hash makers, you want your growers, you want your edible to all stay under the same roof and not branch out, you want a monopoly on that, then yeah, you're going to include vertical integration into your plans. You're going to want to have that. You're not going to want to have your hash maker bust off, open his own company, and then, have a hand up on you because you want his product, but he's the one that makes it now and has control over his own product.
You don't want anyone else to succeed.
It's about having control.
Hell yeah, it is.
It's about having control in disguise of people not wanting big companies to come in and take over our industry. It's happening right now as we talk. There are companies that you people trust and love, people that we've trusted for years, that are becoming the big companies. You think Walmart started from you think Walmart just, bam, 500 million stores?
Pretty much.
Just crapped Walmart stores? No.
Yes.
It happened after a minute. And I'm not saying it's going to be Walmart weed. There eventually will be, but
F that.
People will still buy it. They'll be like, oh, shit. I'm nowhere near home. I'll just go into Walmart and buy some weed and tear off the label. He won't know any difference. Honey, did you get this from Walmart?
How would you not know?
This is Walmart weed. It's dry. Looks like hay.
Not like haze.
And doesn't look very well taken care of. It's not well groomed weed. That's how you know you got Walmart weed. Everyday low prices.
Everyday no buzz.
And as soon as we unlock this whole unfair advantage for dispensaries, And I mean, not only are dispensaries going to be the vertical integration for the first year going to be, in place, they also have a moratorium. Their dispensaries and current people with licenses are the only ones that are going to be allowed to open at the beginning of the year.
Lame.
It is lame. I just got a massive stomach ache.
You feel like you're going to puke?
If I run out of the room, you'll know exactly what happened.
Just grab a bucket and puke on the friggin' radio, on the camera at least, because it'll make for good radio. Well, that did sound like a cough where you could possibly puke.
Dude, don't draw attention to this situation, please.
It was one of those like,
honest to
like
goodness, like all of a sudden, I don't know what the hell. Not feeling great all of a sudden. I don't know what the hell happened there. I've been fighting off this ridiculous stomach issue for like, just like you've been doing the wook thing.
Wook. How come you can't say wook and meme?
I don't know, because I'm Colorado.
Washington.
That's why. Time is getting tight for marijuana bills that outline details of growing, selling, and buying and using pot in Colorado. The least controversial of 3 marijuana bills made it through a committee Thursday, but 2 others were stalled for the day.
Using pot, it sounds like such a journalist phrase.
And a 4th, reviving a bill killed earlier this session, was reintroduced back at the starting line.
No one can see you nod on the radio, so comment when I say something instead of just going like this.
Maybe it's just a silent nod to assure you that I heard what you said, and I don't want to
have some back put.
Vocally implement.
If back put is actually a word, and you can do back putting. It's input back.
Why don't you go back put yourself?
Why don't you go back put off?
Voters in November approved Amendment 64 legalizing the possession, sale, and growth of marijuana for recreational use by adults, but the amendment left it up to lawmakers to regulate and tax the industry, which will begin retail sales in 2014 no matter what. Lawmakers must be finished with their work before midnight Wednesday. And actually, if you want to take this example, retail sales have already started. Beer and cookies, wax, pre-run. That leaves, that's 3 days in a row we've said pre-run. We've made it a habit now.
Are we going to get in trouble?
We might have some pissed off growers. I'm going to send Dredd a card. Like a Hallmark card.
Thank you for growing pre-run.
This is like, it's like a thank you for your pre-run.
Dredd grows pre-run.
Look at all these pre-runs.
Look at them all.
He's never going to give me a hit. Hey, you know what, though? I never really smoke any of his weed. I mostly smoke his Earl. I'm kidding. Kidding, Dredd. Actually pretty stoked to see what his grows are going to look like here at the end, man. Dude looks like he's got it going on. He can give mad props for Scott from Rare Dankness. It kind of does work for Scott, I think, from Rare Dankness. So he should get props.
Mm-hmm.
But his grow's looking freaking nuts. Good job, buddy. That leaves a short timeline for 2 bills so short that Senator Randy Baumgartner speculated there will be a late Friday night committee meeting or Saturday session. It fell apart, he said, of House Bill 1317, which is by design a collection of the most difficult to pass regulations. We're kind of getting the wheels back on the car. And if House Bill 1317 is a jalopy, then the proposed legal limit for driving under the influence...
Did he just say jalopy for
could
real?
land it in the junkyard. Well, that's because it's... I was wrong earlier when I said it was not the most contested bill. It was the consensus bill. This was... 1317 was the bill that...
Is that a jalopy in your pants? You're just happy to see me. Jesus.
That was the most contested, controversial issues, 1317. Which multiple people have commented that it may not even get through. It's 2 or 3 bills they got to pass in order for this regulatory system to be put into place. In the past 3 years, House Republican leader Mark Waller of Colorado Springs has tried 4 times to set a legal limit for how much THC marijuana This active ingredient can be in a person's bloodstream before they're legally considered to be driving under the influence. This year, his marijuana and driving bill passed the House with bipartisan support, 57-6, only to be killed in the Senate committee. It was revived, however, as an amendment to House Bill 1317, which could be a deal breaker for the bill in the Senate. Senators don't want this in other words. It was revived, however. Wait, we already read that. Co-sponsor of the bill, Senator Sherry Jan Wheat Ridge, said she will do everything in her power to get the driving high amendment stripped from the measure. Democratic Governor John Hickenlooper, who is a beer... I mean, he made his money off of beer. Got to where you were because of beer. And he hates us. John John Hypocrite. We'll just name him that. That works.
Say his name.
John Hypocrite Hickenlooper.
Oh. Oh, are you trying to make a combo?
I'm not going to call him Chicken Looper anymore.
Hypocrite Looper.
Hypocrite and Looper? No, that's too... John...
Too lame.
John Hickocrip. Hickocrip.
John the Drunk.
Hypocrite. John... Exactly. John the Drunk. We may be just talking about any John there, too.
John the Drunk is...
Somebody.
The governor. Governor.
Bike said that, not me. John Hickenlooper specifically mentioned the driving bill as an important safeguard in his State of the Address. Republican Attorney General John Suthers testified Thursday that law enforcement across the state uniformly supports and needs the regulation. No, you don't need the regulation, law enforcement. You do not need the regulation. I love how law enforcement is always like, we need these two. We need. No, you don't. Use what you have. You already have the tools that are in place. Freaking just trying to just pad your freaking coffers and your pat yourselves on the backs. And it's stupid. You're gonna do it at the expense of innocent people. Freaking. You know what's going to be funny is that if this does go into place, the numbers in the following years, how much are they going to spin those numbers? Like, oh my God, look how many people are driving stoned. And then the deaths from stoned drivers, 0.
Right.
That's how it's going to be.
Everyone driving stoned.
I mean, dude, if you go by the 5 nanogram limit, for sure, I shouldn't be driving at all, ever. I don't ever really drive. I don't have keys to a car. You certainly are not a 5 nanogram man.
I don't think I get to 5 nanograms when I'm in like REM 6.
What the hell is REM?
Deep sleep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. I don't think I've ever heard that reference.
Rapid eye motion. Rapid eye movement.
Okay, maybe I have. Okay, I see. Yeah, I don't think I fell below 5 nanograms probably
a decade or so.
Quite a long time.
I'm telling you, it took me 3 months to piss clean.
That's just nuts. That's not normal.
I'm big and I'm fat and I'm smoking a lot of weed.
You're not really fat, though.
That was then.
Oh, okay.
I was fatter.
As a safeguard against the driving high provisions being stripped from House Bill 1317, a new bill was introduced and passed out of the committee Thursday. It is exactly the same as the bill killed in the Senate earlier. I said, why are you jeopardizing 1317? So they dropped it. They dropped another bill. Said that Representative Senator Jan. What?
Yep.
Senator Jan. Those opposed to the driving high bill say blood tests for marijuana infringe on constitutional rights and contend there is not enough specific evidence that a person is impaired when they are at or above the proposed legal limit for THC. House Bill 1317 also faces other challenges. Owners of existing medical marijuana stores balked. See? It's not just me saying this, people. And this is not where I'm getting my information from. Owners of existing medical marijuana stores balked at a proposal that grow operations could be separate from retail stores, something that is not permitted under medical marijuana business permits. I am not the only one on this. Another House Bill 1317 amendment that's drawing fire would require marijuana magazines to be treated like pornography in stores.
So people should get turned on by magazines in stores?
Placed behind the counter.
Treated like pornography. Oh, people.
Dude, I swear to goodness to you that there is not any... when was the last time you went into a store and you saw magazines behind the counter?
1993 in Pennsylvania.
Dude, there's that doesn't even exist anymore. The 7-Elevens and here they don't sell. I've never seen in years.
Nope.
Or at least not given a shiz enough to pay attention. Who buys a porno magazine, by the way? When you have your phone right here and you're like, okay, porn.
The same goes with weed. I don't know why they're going to be freaking out about something that kids can just get on the internet anyways.
The one thing that this is going to do is going to destroy any local publication. I mean, who in their right mind is going to... I shouldn't say in their right mind.
Say it in their right mind. Say
no,
it.
That's
say
not what I meant.
In your right mind.
That's not what I meant. Maybe I'm not in my right mind.
I know, so you can just preface it with that.
It's just like, it seems so ridiculous to have to go up to the guy at the counter and be like, hey, can you check out that magazine right there? No, not that one. The one behind the
You
other.
know, the one with the things on it.
Yeah, you can see the top a little bit there. It's got a little bit of yellow there at the top. It's behind that brown thing.
No, the other one.
Okay, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh wait. That's last month's, man. Can you check and see if okay. You know what? Just forget it. I'm out of here.
I'll just take them all.
Just give me a pack of those zigzags. So that kind of sucks. Really, that's more... I mean, that's an inconvenience in a, facepalm. Like, what? Are you serious? I used to go in... What's changed about magazines being dangerous in the past, decade, 2 decades, dude? When I was in high school, I used to go down the street to the convenience store, across the street from the place where we always used to buy our weed in this complex. And it was the only store around that you could really find that had, there was plenty of stores that had High Times, but in this area, there was maybe 5 or 6 gas stations, but only one of them carried the High Times. Mm-hmm. It was right there, right in front of right with the other magazines. You just walk in, grab the High Times, slap it down on the counter. Didn't have to show an ID, nothing. Because it's a First Amendment situation. Freedom of speech. It is my American right to be able to say whatever I want, as long as, it's not fire inside of a auditorium or, we all know that. Oh, and more so than anything, than even that, in my opinion, the most precious things that we hold as a country and as free, quote, I say that free, Americans, society, is the ability to be able to learn whatever you want. Whatever you want. If you want to learn how to make a bomb but not use it, that should be your right. If you want to learn how to grow marijuana but not necessarily grow it, that should be your right. You want to learn how to dissect the human body, a dog, a cat, you should be able to learn how to do that, not necessarily do it. You want to learn how to make methamphetamine because you want to learn exactly the process and how dangerous it is? You should be able to learn that and inform yourself as a free American. Now you can go. Now you can go to the counter and say, "Hey, can you see that magazine?" Nobody's stopping you from doing that, but making it a hurdle that you have to jump over and not allowing someone 18 to 21 necessarily giving that. Okay, for anyone that's under 21,
You can
for
buy
any
these
establishment
magazines if you're 18, but you can't buy these ones if you're not 21.
For any establishment that has 21 and under that are allowed to go into it. Oh, 18, 19, 20 being shoved out of here. Bad business, in my opinion. Bad for business. Warren Edson was inside this article. Don't ask me how he got inside the article. Sitting here walking around, pacing back and forth, it looks like. No, I'm kidding. That was funny.
I laughed inside.
Give yourself a shot of some.
What's your weed?
Give yourself some shot of some B12, Jack.
We can go to a bong hit.
There's weed in there sitting on top of the thing, dude.
Oh.
God, man.
It's
so frustrating when you have no energy at all and you're like, I just need some weed.
I need some oil.
I can push through this.
Well, you're the one who went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting, not me.
You know, every time you pull that out, I think, are gonna have to donate a
That's
gram.
like the Harvard.
You're gonna have to donate a gram of Earl for every time you bring up the fact that I went to broadcasting school and use it against me for being a professional. Because you know what? A lot of people I know that went to broadcasting school with me didn't do so well.
Dude, I went to Harvard to take a piss once.
I don't care if you went to Harvard to take a piss once. Why don't you go back to Harvard to take a piss?
I've driven by MIT
right now,
dozens of times.
My challenge to you is for you to walk back
Boston
to Harvard.
College was not that far from where I grew up.
Walk back to Harvard and do not use the restroom until you're back at Harvard and use that toilet. That same toilet that you used, okay? That's my challenge to you. Do it right now.
I decline your challenge.
Well, then just leave.
You need a lighter.
There's a lighter in there.
Everything's in there.
Big baby.
Will you smoke it for me?
I would if I didn't have a radio show to do right now.
It's always about you, Tim. Always you and what you have to do, right?
No, actually, I think if we go back and search through shows as far as, what's needed to be done and who's left and who's came back, I mean, that's definitely by far you.
Well, I don't have the education from a broadcasting academy
there you
to
go.
teach me what to do.
1 oil gram.
I didn't mention Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
It's not the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, you smart ass.
What is it?
I'm not going to get into this with you.
Where did you go to school?
Shut up!
Did you actually go to Connecticut, or is there a branch here?
It's not Connecticut.
What is it?
Smartass.
I know it's a state.
I'm not going to tell you because I don't give a shiz.
You're not proud of your alma mater?
I am, but I'm not going to give you the pleasure of playing into your stupid game.
I won't use it against you. It's a
I don't
compliment,
care.
if anything.
I don't care.
You don't compliment.
You're not already allowed to mention it all ever again anyway.
You don't compliment me for being tall ever.
So what? Maybe I don't give out compliments.
I won't use your
I say
alma
you're
mater
good. I say you
against
do great on the show, and then you go and pull this shiz. Say I don't give you any compliments or pat you on the back.
I just want to be known and respected for being tall. That's all.
From now on,
Ohio Center for Broadcasting. That's what it is.
That's somebody probably mentioned it in the chat room.
There's no one. I'm not even in the chat room.
All right, fine.
Did you go to Ohio for that?
No, I didn't go to Ohio for that.
Where is it? Is it here?
I'm not talking to you anymore.
I'm just going to look it up.
It's here in Denver, you freaking ass.
Oh, okay. Ohio.
There is an Ohio Center for Broadcasting.
It is in Denver, wow.
They have multiple campuses.
Do they have one in Connecticut?
There is a Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
I know, but does the Ohio Center for Broadcasting have a Connecticut campus?
Maybe. Look, I don't care right now.
You just answer this last question.
I don't know. Look it up.
Does a Connecticut School of Broadcasting and the Ohio Center for Broadcasting play each other in basketball? Are they in the same league? Like the Air Force and the Army have teams? Like, does ITT Tech play in your league?
Go away, dude. Go away.
ITT Tech versus
Go
Ohio
to the other
Center
room
for Broadcasting.
And you mute off. Your mic's off. Hey, when you got up there, you almost mooned everybody. dick. There's this new product out in Colorado, by the way, which I've seen over at the grow shop a couple times, and now I'm seeing it advertised a bunch of places. It's called Batch 64, handcrafted for seasoned indoor growers who read plants, not directions. Feeding is your art form. This is your canvas. You are the expert. Express yourself. Colorado's finest hydro blend. 64 Hydro Blend is engineered for the heavy feeding professional grower by maintaining proper pH balances, promoting optimum nutrient uptake, offering essential plant available micronutrients, and creating the ideal balance between water retention and drainage. Batch 64 Hydro Blend is the perfect growing medium for your indoor crop. The magic of our Hydro Blend lies in the premium ingredients: coconut coir, yucca extract, a natural wetting agent that enhances moisture and nutrition distribution. Mycorrhizae creates the bridge between roots and newts. Honestly, the more and more that I am learning about growing, I don't think there's too many more damn things that you can add to your dirt, your substrate, than mycorrhizae. Things are badass. Metamorphosed evaporate and oyster shell provide essential micronutrients to act as pH buffers. Biochar gives a home to valuable nutrients that would otherwise be flushed out or leached. Expanded shale pumice and rice hulls, because perlite just ain't enough. Batch 64 is available. Actually, I don't think we have it over at the grow store. And it's not at the other location I want to send you. Whoa, that dude's got a bunch of boxes. Boxes, man. I just thought that was interesting. It's I would go with Roots Organic usually as my grow medium. I like Roots Organic. I would add the Roots Organic cocoa coir mix. We had 2 bags of this cocoa coir mix to one decent sized bag of perlite, and it makes a fantastic airy substrate for you to work with. And I think here in Colorado that works a little bit better sometimes. I hate having to worry about not watering my plants for I hate thick substrates that hold a lot of water, it's easy to get bugs that way. It's easy to get root problems that way. And it really, for heavier dirts and heavier soils, you really got to know what you're doing. You really have to understand your dirt, pay attention to what's going on, make sure that it dries all the way out in it. Which a lot of times I get that if your bucket's small enough, you can just lift that bucket up a little bit. You're like, okay, this is dry. But I personally prefer the more airy of substrates. That's why the cocoa coir works. Are you ready to behave yourself? Are you?
Oh, depends what you mean. And my last question is: do you have a yearbook?
No, I don't have a yearbook.
That's all I wanted to know.
Freaking asshat.
What about high school yearbook? Dude, I saw that picture of you on that link you posted last night, and you look at you're about 14 years old. When was that taken? That's a compliment.
And then you go and bring up that damn thing. I didn't even think of that
until
this point in time.
You posted it.
Yeah, and then I shoved it out of my brain after last night because it bummed me out.
You need to keep me get a closer proximity of what you are not talking about anymore, I guess I need to say.
Why would I want to have that? I haven't talked about that shiz for too long. I don't bring it up that often anymore.
I didn't know how I was supposed to decipher whether it was cool if you posted it on Facebook. I could only assume.
That's because it was brought to my attention.
Making an ass out of me.
Good.
And you.
You should feel bad. You're not making an ass out of me.
Okay, good. Well, I was assuming. So.
You're just a dick. 5 years ago, yesterday was a bittersweet day 5 years ago. Because I knew that I was going to jail the next day. But 5 years ago yesterday was when I got 2 ounces, all my grow supplies, my money ordered back to me by a judge Went and picked it up from Moffat County Sheriff's Office and Craig Police Department, and it was crazy. I mean, the first time in the entire country that anyone can find where a convicted felon is convicted of felony was also ordered back their grow supplies and their medicine. So, I mean, Rob Corey was my attorney at that point in time. And, I mean, no attorney that I could find at the time had ever heard of this outcome at all. Which, I mean, forget the felony, man. Forget having anything ordered back to you. Trade all that. Keep it all.
2 whole ounces.
I'll take a non-felony. Thank you. I had, I don't know. I probably had like a QP at the most. There was probably about there was probably just another, no, there wasn't a QP actually. It was probably just another couple of ounces. One of the ounces that I got back was refry from the Silver Surfer vaporizer. It was just like the stuff that I was keeping and going to give to a friend to see if they wanted to try and get more THC or CBD or whatever the hell they wanted to get out of it.
Yeah.
So that got counted against me. Ash, basically, which is not really ash. The refry is just kind of heated up and, vaporized weed. All right, and then another ounce of some of Northern Lights.
How long?
Outdoor grown Northern Lights, which is by far one of the best outdoor strains that I have got my hands on.
Which Northern Lights?
Northern Lights number 5, outdoor.
Okay.
Fantastic strain. I loved the high. When I got out of jail,
how long did the cops have it
that
for?
high was freaking awesome. They helped me cure it out.
How long did they have it for?
They had it from October 18th to April or May 2nd.
Over 6-month cure in the police station.
Yep. Inside
evidence room.
Inside the evidence locker. They had to go in.
It was safe.
Grab it and then take it back. Yeah, it was just... But they broke my... I had my hood, and then it had a glass, the glass on the hood?
Yeah.
Bastards are walking out with my shiz. Break my damn glass.
Bringing it back to you?
Yes.
Like, oh, whoops, sorry.
Exactly.
Assholes.
God, they were not happy about that whole situation, dude. The dirty looks. Oh, they were quite... They amended the order twice. At first, it was everything given back to me. Everything. Money.
Yep.
I had a 9mm.
Yep.
When I got to the 9mm, they were like,
"No,
he's a felon now. Can't give this to him." And I had a lawyer that said I could sign it over and sign it over to somebody else. This is going to be complicated. And they just took it back to that judge right then and there, and the judge amended it and said, "No 9. No 9 for you."
How much cash did you get back?
I don't know how much cash.
$84.
They stole no, it was $2,000. $2,000 and a couple $100 in drug task force money that they didn't write down the serial numbers for. So it got included with my money, and then I got it back. So I successfully sold 100%, got money and all, handed them weed. I successfully sold to a drug task force.
Sweet.
Well, I guess you could not say that was successful. I didn't get away with it. I got the money. I had to trade a felony, though.
Not good.
Damn. For a minute there, I kind of felt decent. And I was like, wait a second. That's not the great trade-off. But how many people do you know actually got money back from a drug deal that they went to jail for?
They went to jail for, no, I saw 1994 on Friend Street in Boston, a Grateful Dead show. I saw cops take weed away from my buddy that he had just bought from a dude but not giving him the money, and then the cops gave it back to my buddy and told the dude to walk the other way and told my friend to walk that way. And the guy's like, I didn't get my money from him. He's like, walk that way. And you walk that way. So we ended up getting a free eighth of some Durban poison and not arrested.
So that happened, and I didn't remember any of this. It's not like I sit here and keep track of the date other than October 18th, which is my birthday and the day I was raided on. It's kind of hard to forget that. But I hadn't remembered it, and Medicinal Colorado, who posts up a ton of stories, and then like you had said before, you know, they go back. He goes back 1 year ago today, or whatever, you know. Yeah, I got home and I like saw this 5 years ago today. Craig Man ordered back cannabis, and this is my.
Oh, he put your thing up?
Yeah, he put that story up. That's how I remembered it.
Did he tag you?
I didn't remember it. Yeah, he tagged me, and then my heart went from like my chest up in my throat. I was like, ugh. I'm like, man, that was a bittersweet day. I do look a lot younger though.
You look like you barely have pubes.
It was only 5 years ago, dude.
You're a young-looking chap there.
A lot of stress through
Scholar.
that 5 years. A lot of.
No, you look probably 18 or 19 now.
In that picture?
No, now. Only
I
because
look
you need to
18.
shave your neck.
I don't need to shave my neck.
Yeah,
I do need a little bit of a shave. Tonight is also First Friday over at Hood Lab. I'm so tired today. Molasses brain. Dude, yesterday we got this delivery, like we always do, multiple times. Three, four trucks.
Brother job.
What?
I thought you meant here at first.
At the grow shop, and like 2 of these big ass, like 5-gallon bucket of molasses showed up in one of the orders, and I was like, who is still dumping molasses? Who's still making molasses mixes and putting it in their shiz?
Does that not work anymore?
I mean, it does, unless you really know what you're doing, dude. I wouldn't. There's so much better products out there. Like
what?
Don't go with straight molasses. Don't go. I mean, I think Botanicare or something is the one who makes this that we got.
Weren't you talking about making Fridays like grow tip Fridays or something? Just to
something
tip,
like that.
Just a tip. I think you need to spend this weekend.
No, I got to wait.
Not doing what you've been doing and get some guests lined up. Because what you've been doing is not
I have to figure out a
guests.
shiz ton of. No, I've been trying to get my life in order. Make sure I have place to stay and yeah.
Don't even. You know.
I got a lot of stuff I got to get finished. And
you're slacking.
I forgot where is that. Oh yeah, I just saw that and I was like, damn, who's buying this and putting this in there?
Old timers.
I mean, it's not the best way to deliver sugars to your plant. Pretty much old timers are the ones doing it. This story, news story, Warren Edson's quoted in quite a bit. Pretty much the whole story is about Warren's comments here. Earlier this week, marijuana attorney Warren Edson gave us his first take on the House-approved draft of 131317 in Colorado, the main regulatory measure now pertaining to the implementation of 64. Now, after weighing in on issues like vertical integration for retail pot shops and temporary exclusivity for existing marijuana centers, he's had a chance to dig further into the massive document. And he found a number of weird items pertaining on topics ranging from edibles to weed magazines. A shockingly large chunk of the latest draft, around 20 pages out of the 86 total, pertain to the THC driving standard. As we've talked about, the THC DUID bill was voted down by a Senate Judiciary Committee. The Senate rejected similar bills in 11 and 12. But the concept still has a lot of support in the House and among law enforcement groups who wrote to Governor Hickenlooper and who said not passing the THC standard would be irresponsible. Is any of this material new? Not at all, says Warren, and some of it predates the previous failed bills. It's just the same regurgitated stuff from the original bill, but they made it bigger and broader by absorbing the standard DUI language. All they did was cut and paste the DUI statutes we've already got on the books into the bill. As such, it's basically the same 5 nanogram standard that we've all been complaining about, and if it passes, it's going to wind up with folks being prosecuted who aren't intoxicated. The Senate can strip out the language and is likely to do so, but given that legislators are in the closing sprint to May 8th, end of the session, Edson isn't taking anything for granted. Another odd segment pertains to marijuana magazines, which we talked about that. Calls for a requirement that magazines whose primary focus of marijuana or marijuana business are only sold in retail marijuana stores or behind the counter in establishments where persons under 21 years of age are present.
You know, today is also an anniversary. You know, yesterday was an anniversary, but today 1 year ago today, MCA quit the Beastie Boys. That's silent nod again. Can you believe it's been a year?
Great. I can't believe it.
Can you? You don't like the Beastie Boys?
I just don't really care right now.
Oh.
Thank you for that information, though.
It's weed related.
If it comes up in a trivia game later tonight, I'll be thankful.
Yep. How much trivia you playing at night when you should be working on the show? Oh, do you have trivial plans tonight?
I'm going to Hood Lab.
Oh. You could be working on the show, but you're going to go to the Hood Lab.
I'm going over to Hood Lab.
I know, you said that twice now.
I'm going over to Hood Lab.
Yep.
Amendment 64 proponents said...
If you go to Hood Lab, you need to get 2 guests lined up for next week while you're there.
Amendment 60...
Yes.
No.
Yes, do it.
Amendment 64 proponents said to regulate marijuana like alcohol, he notes, but apparently our legislature wants to regulate it like porn.
Porn.
How many beer brewing and distilling magazines are in the racks at tattered cover, yet they're going to make these magazines go behind the counter? Really? In his view, Warren's view, this could be devastating for both the industry as a whole and consumers in terms of cutting back on information and ways to see new products, because a lot of people aren't going to want the icky feeling of having to go into a 7-Eleven and ask, can I see the magazine behind the brown paper bag? See, same idea we had. Another noteworthy but little discussed passage pertains to THC limits in marijuana edibles. One portion calls for a serving size for edible retail marijuana products that does not contain more than 10 milligrams of active THC. Label requirements regarding servings for edible marijuana retail products and limitations on the total amount of active THC in a package that is no more than 100 milligrams of active THC.
Milligrams.
Edibles with well over 100 milligrams of THC are widely available at many, if not most, medical marijuana centers in the state. Does this mean companies would be prohibited from going beyond this number for any product? Or will they be able to manufacture them for sale to people with red cards, but no recreational customers? That isn't clear to Edson. It amazes me that there hasn't been more discussion about this cap. That's pretty low. I agree. I don't think many people thought that this would get in there. That's why. I don't think that anybody realized, or even their wildest dreams thought that they would try to limit the edibles.
No, I didn't see it.
Number one, do we even have a sign like?
No.
If you say, "Hey,
Nothing.
10 milligrams per bite," there's no real.
How big is your mouth? How big is your bite?
I mean, okay, if they put us, but okay, here, this size is a serving size.
Okay.
And it can only have 10 milligrams of THC in it. Is there really a system set up to be able to accurately test that? No. Because the activated...
They can test edibles.
It may have 10 milligrams of THC in it, but does it mean it's activated? Does it mean...
Yeah.
Well, for you it does. But what if somebody doesn't make it right?
Oh, then they're F. It won't work.
How do you
It's
test
not water
the milligram?
soluble.
How do you test the milligram level?
With the
How do you know?
With the laboratory.
Seems to me that this is a bad idea. Horrible idea.
I agree.
I mean, honestly, and in all reality, this is going to help out edible companies. I mean, it's going to cut their costs by a ton.
Will it also stop people from buying them, though?
That will probably happen, too. I mean, edible companies that have to put, like, a portion of the medicine that they used to have. This is by far the most costly part of their business. It's probably making sure that they're medicated properly.
It's a shittier product, so they sell less of it.
What I really feel bad is for people like Jessica LaRue, who makes a fantastic product and can get it to taste not like cannabis at all, and who cares about the medication of her customers. I mean, is that effective dose? I don't think so. I hate limiting people. 5% beer, 8% beer,
3.2% beer,
30% alcohol by volume,
I don't
40%
like the fact,
alcohol by volume.
I don't like the fact that this beer we had yesterday does not have any alcohol or THC information
I don't like it doesn't have any alcohol information on it, like the percentage of alcohol. It should have a percentage of alcohol on it.
It should have the milligrams of marijuana infusion as well.
Guesstimated
Almost
range.
more important.
I don't know if that was activated, though.
Why wouldn't it be?
It may have just been keef. They said it was just trichomes that they infused.
Keef.
So they said it was just trichomes that were infused into the beer. So they could have just dumped a bunch of keef into the beer, dude.
That wouldn't do anything for you.
Probably not.
It wouldn't. It's
It
not
would just
activated.
leave you with the taste of keef that I had in my mouth a little bit.
I didn't have that. I thought it was from the cookie.
I thought it might have been from the cookie at first too, but then I thought more, and I think it's keef they added to that thing. We'll have to talk with them at some point. Invite them on. There's one of the guests I'll email. Like, hey, come on the show.
There's something about this beat that makes me want to go to sleep.
You're
Hey, I didn't say it sucks.
You're a whiner.
I didn't say it sucks.
Such a whiner. There is a copy of House Bill 1317 available online if you'd like to go online. Westward.com has it. So go check that out if you're interested. Tricky invited up to his place for a seed swap.
He invited me up and you invited yourself along.
I'm always invited.
Okay.
You don't even grow, dude.
Neither do you.
I have grown.
I
And
know.
I am a grower.
But you just said to me, you don't even grow.
You don't grow ever, though.
I just said, my
Have you-
response to you saying you don't even grow is neither do you. And that's accurate. You do not grow.
Not right now.
Exactly. I do not grow right now either. It's currently. We do not grow.
Have you ever grown?
Yes, I have. Grow my nails, my hair every day.
Have you ever grown weed?
Kinda.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a no.
I don't grow weed either. Weed grows itself.
Weed can grow itself.
I know,
but you guide it.
Really wants to. So,
but you guide it
so why
quite
don't you
heavily.
call yourself a guider when you guide?
You need to watch the Botany of Desire.
When you wrote,
it'll explain
when
to
you
you this.
raised your plants, call yourself a guider.
No, you're a grower. 'cause
Cannabis
you're
guider.
Taking care. You're a cannabis caretaker.
You're a grower, not a shower.
Taking care of your plant.
A grower, not a shower.
I don't have a problem in that department. Thank you very much.
You're a caretaker.
I am a caretaker, especially if you're talking about that department.
Talking about growing or guiding.
That'd be cool to head up to Tricky, nice little seed swap. He does live in the middle of BFE though.
Side of BFE.
He lives like on the far nether region of BFE, dude.
Yep.
You don't even get cell service at his house, dude.
Oh, I can't go then.
There's no cell service.
What if
at
someone
dude's
tries
house.
to call me?
There's no GPS activity.
What?
So your cell don't get service.
How does that even work? How does that even not work?
I don't know. It's not the best situation to be in, though. Dirt roads, no service. Not know the area very well.
Yes, no, I'm not from around here.
Shit's gonna happen.
What do you-
Shiz
do you have-
can
do you have some-
happen.
do you have some seeds to
Shiz
bring?
can happen. Shiz can happen.
Then you wipe.
Shiz can
your
happen.
shit. Do you have any?
And then
seeds? Do you have
I
any
think I have a
seeds?
couple packs of seeds, but I don't need to
What?
bring seeds.
Well,
Everywhere I
couldn't you
go,
then?
I'm media. I just claim media. I'm here to cover it. I'm here to cover things.
It's kind of a secret deal. Maybe you shouldn't come. We don't want people talking about
Maybe
it.
he shouldn't have posted it online then.
He actually emailed me about it. Did he email you?
That's because you have seeds usually.
I don't.
Look, I said let's go up to Tricky's on his thing, and he okayed it. So there. He said, kiss my
Well,
ass.
what was he going to say?
Tricky has no problem with me
After
coming
you
to
invite yourself.
I'm a friend of
he's
Tricky.
not going to embarrass you and say no, of course. Well, come on up, I guess, Tim. Is what he was saying.
I could even type on here and be like, Bike says I wasn't invited. Am I invited? And he'll be like, you're always invited. Tricky's wife even posted up on my timeline today. So
What'd she say?
She sent me a story. She said, check out this story. Thought you'd like this. Larry King, marijuana legalization is logical. even Larry King himself is down with legalization.
F. Larry King.
Cannon. Appearing Wednesday with Huffington Post hosts, which is weird. Huffington Post Live is like just is insanely popular now. It's exploded, dude.
Yes.
Longtime television interviewer Larry King confessed to Huffington Post that he thinks marijuana should be made legal, saying prohibition's end is actually quite logical. I've always felt marijuana used to be legal. I know it doesn't make sense. I've always felt marijuana used to be legal. It was he always felt it. I feel you, man. I feel marijuana. It was the liquor industry that made it illegal. Everybody has their own opinions. In 1938, you could go to stores and buy marijuana. I know it helps ill people. I know it's great. Used with cataracts, I think it will be legal. I wonder if Larry King uses weed.
How would he use it?
Smoke it, ingest it.
Oh, he takes it?
Dab it. King went on, the best quote I have on that Lenny Bruce, a friend of mine who said marijuana will be legal someday because every law student I know smokes it.
Everyone's a friend of Larry King's.
He added that, to him, legalization appears logical, but some regulation will be needed. I certainly don't think you should smoke marijuana and drive, King said. For the longtime CNN host, the admission probably isn't that big a leap for him. In more than 25 years on television, King spoke to tens of thousands of people about every topic imaginable, including drug reform. In a memorable 1988 segment, King even lit a joint for Robert Randall, the first American permitted under federal law to use the drug for medical purposes. I remember watching a clip of that. You can find that on the internet, probably YouTube. And that's
Larry King lighting a joint?
That's not to mention the numerous celebrities from...
Si Bueno?
From... What?
Larry King lighting a joint?
He lit a joint for Robert Randall, first American permitted under federal law to use the drug for medical purposes.
Robert Randolph?
Was sent weed from the government. Robert Randall. Educate yourself, dude.
You just did by me asking a question.
Robert Randall was an advocate for medical marijuana and the founder of the Alliance for Cannabis Therapeutics. Also the first legal marijuana smoker for the federal government in the United States. Born in 1948. There you learned yourself some. Snoop Dogg to Mick Jagger, who have told him about their experiences. Dude. Toke of the Town is linked in this article. That's pretty cool. Toke of the Town. We need to partner with them somehow, 100%. So I think that they might... I mean, Toke of the Town could possibly turn into one of the biggest informational news situations in our nation when it comes to cannabis. Hang up your phone.
Someone called me from area code 877. I don't know where that is.
877. Celebrity endorsements aren't what convinced King to side with drug reformers. Describing an interview he sat with 4 chiefs of police, King said he asked the men if neither one were legal, marijuana or liquor, and you could only legalize one, what would you legalize? And they all answered at the same time, marijuana. Because they had never seen murder committed while someone's under the influence of marijuana, and 80% of the homicides they investigated were alcohol-related. Thanks for joining the party, Larry. I was talking about this Batch 64 earlier, too. Is dirt.
Batch 64?
Colorado-made dirt.
Tell me about it.
I told everybody about it already.
Oh, okay. I'll just go back and ask everybody.
Good. It has cocoa core, yucca, mycorrhizae, oyster shell, biochar, shale, pumice, rice holes.
Rice hole?
Batch 64.
You farging rice hole.
Batch 64 for growers.
Haggis says that article is from October of last year. Are you reading? JDI bringing you old news. Monday through Friday. 11:01 Denver.
Still valid.
I hear you.
It's good that our listeners are holding our standard, though.
They need to. call you on stuff.
There was nothing in that was at all timely. That's why he went with it.
Haggis has read it before.
That's pretty awesome that we have well-informed listeners. Congratulations. I'm actually really glad that we do have listeners that can point out things that they've seen or heard. And I wasn't necessarily going to go into that article. You talked about Tricky and then mentioned his wife dropped it on me.
Well, Scott just messaged me and said, stop talking about it on the air, but we don't want Tim.
Stop talking on the air, but we don't want
Stop
what?
talking about it on the air, but we don't want Tim to come up. If he says something, he has to be nice to you.
Scott did not message you at all. I don't even...
How about a sense?
I'm just not going to let you get under my skin.
Dude, just grow. Well, by flexing like that, it's getting thicker by the day.
All right. Go fark your couch.
Thank you.
Supporters of legalizing marijuana for medical use put their plan forward at Minnesota's Capitol yesterday, even though the major debate will wait until next year. Leaders of the group Minnesotans for Compassionate Care said they are not expecting action on the proposal until the 2014 session. The current session is due to conclude in a few weeks. The bill could face an uphill push, given long-standing opposition from Governor Mark Dayton and law enforcement groups. The measure dictates the amount of marijuana someone can possess and the types of health conditions that would permit use and the rules medical professionals must follow when issuing prescriptions. What?
Yes.
It would continue to ban smoking of marijuana on school buses and school grounds.
That's fine.
On public transportation. That's fine. In the presence of a child and while operating vehicles, boats, or other transportation equipment. One of the most offensive situations I've ever been in was when those dudes here recently, those 3 kids got on the light rail and started smoking a blunt. And I had my JDR jacket on, sitting right next to him. Like trying to cover up my weed leaves. Like embarrassed to be sitting next to these jackasses. There's a kid in the seat next to us with their mom who just looks like wants to rip their throats out. That would have been actually awesome to see. Mama Bear go off on these dumbasses.
It could happen.
It's one thing to be smoking weed outside, walking around. I mean, it's outside.
It's against the law.
It is against the law, but a lot of us haven't really followed that law for quite a while.
I hear you.
You cannot walk around downtown Denver without smelling weed at any given point in time during the day.
On a really windy day, you can't.
It's even worse then, because you're getting the gusts from the dispensaries and the grows.
Like a really windy day.
But I mean, every time you go downtown, I smell weed. 16th Street Mall, smell weed. See somebody smoking a joint. In fact, you probably see me smoking a joint walking down the 16th Street Mall. From the sounds of it, though, they're going to be cracking down on a lot more things, though. This legalization may have put us into the green area, but then there's some other all right, now you got this. We're not going to let you do this anymore. It's almost better in some ways of okay, well, civil disobedience, man. We're going to do this no matter what. Now they're like, well, you can't really be civil disobedient with something that's legal. And, you can. I'm being civilly disobedient because I don't think that marijuana should be illegal to smoke in public places. I really don't. I think wherever you can smoke cigarettes, you should be able to smoke marijuana. Walking down the street, the light rail stations say, please refrain from smoking in this area for the people around you's consideration, So walk down where the smokers smoke, because the smokers do still smoke under that sign. It'd be like that sign right here, and then some dude's like, oh, this cancer stick is so good. And then, you're like, dude, please go away. Walk the other direction. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't know that because you probably don't smell cigarette smoking.
I do. It makes me want to have one.
It's not what I was trying to do there. Okay, again yesterday, I heard the cookies get batted down again and again and again. In fact, I heard someone yesterday refuse to take the cookies from someone that was about to give it up. The platinum cut.
Why?
And then a few other cuts. Because they were like, this shit is ridiculous. I've seen it grow. They're like, this is... One of the best things about working over at the grocery store is being able to listen in on the conversations that happen over there. I'd say out of every few conversations, I mean, there's people that know who I am over there, and they'll sit down and engage me and discuss politics and cannabis and growing and stuff. But then there's other people that don't necessarily know who I am, but still know that, you know, Quincy, that we're still involved in the industry quite heavily. I mean, it's kind of like the barber shop. Seriously, dude, the grocery store is like the barbershop. People just come in there,
shoot the shiz,
get their shit, put it down in front of the counter, and then chill for like 15, 20, 30 minutes talking.
Bunch of broads in there talking about yapinyentas.
Dude, and it's so great. I have found out so much more shiz and bounced things off of so many more people over there than I could have ever imagined. I mean, rumors. We talked to the union guys the other day over there. Gave them my 2 cents on how I think everything should be going with unions.
Yeah.
And what they need to make sure that they protect. Like, for instance, ripping vertical integration out from under everybody.
Civil unions.
There is civil unions in Colorado.
Is that what you're talking about?
No. Talking about unionization of our industry.
Ooh, can't have that.
You don't want it? In the long run, it's not going to be good, but right now, I definitely am. I'm for unions right now. Dude,
are they going to let felons into the union? You got to think about that.
Yes. I mean, you have to, if you're employed in the industry, I wonder if we could even be part of that group.
I'm not a felon. Believe it or not.
What?
I said I'm not a felon.
I know you made that clear. Which, why you don't have your badge right now, I don't understand. But whatever. Do your thing.
I don't want it.
You should really get it.
Because I don't want anyone to have it.
But, dude, if you had your badge right now, you'd probably be employed working in a MIPS.
I'm not necessarily sure that's what I want in life.
All right. You're crazy.
I know.
That's cool. Exactly what I want.
All right, now
I want to be serving weed and making oil and bullshizzing with people. That's one of the things that I missed quite a bit. It was just BSing with, you know, the people that buy your... Tonight. The people that buy your weed, they come over, sit down, chill. I miss that interaction.
Well, now you work at a grocery shop and you get it back.
I'm getting it back a little bit. Getting it back a little bit. It's pretty awesome.
When is it? Tonight? All right. Tonight, all right.
Tonight. Representative Carly Mellon. Once again, we're talking about Minnesota. Medical marijuana. Said the bill strikes an appropriate balance between compassion, health, and safety. She said she hopes to persuade Dayton to keep an open mind at the legislation process. That's Mark Dayton as governor. Patients who are prescribed the drug would have to get a special ID card, which would carry a fee ranging from $25 to $100. Why is there a different fee?
Probably for different plant counts, I imagine, or possession amounts.
They would be allowed to carry 2.5 ounces of marijuana at a time. Qualifying debilitating medical conditions include cancer, glaucoma, AIDS, and other serious illnesses.
Glaucoma.
Do you know why your eyes get red?
Yes, because I'm wicked baked.
Do you know why your eyes get red when you're wicked baked?
Mine don't, personally.
This is from Ask a Stoner. William Breeze took it to town.
Tell me why. It has something to do with your vasoconstrictors.
Yes.
Coming slowly undone.
Yep. It releases, lets pressure from your eyeballs go.
It relaxes them.
Yep. It's so fantastic for glaucoma.
The synapses were able to bring me that information.
The federal government has awarded glaucoma as one of the reasons why they've given out this and other
glaucoma.
I think this person, what's her name, had multiple illnesses that she was awarded it for, but gets shipped cannabis federally every month.
It's going to be some lousy weed, I can imagine.
It is. Irv Rosenfeld, we've had on the show before, who also gets cannabis shipped to him every month by the federal government that is grown by the University of Mississippi. He said that the quality has improved. I mean, I've looked at it, I've seen it. It's nothing like what you'd necessarily see here, but he doesn't mind it. And he doesn't go and buy from dispensaries and other things. Other places.
How many gets 300 joints a month?
Something like that. Here you go. Are you ready? I want to see you dance.
Here we go.
Break it down. Dance, dude.
Dancing, dude.
You're not dancing.
Dude, I am busting a freaking move right now.
Come on. You'll be like... That's the monkey dance right there.
The monkey is not that coordinated.
All right.
Have you ever been blowing glass and had a bird fly into the exhaust fan and explode?
Wow. Where's that at?
It's Joshua Tree.
Wow. I did see the replay of when, what's his name? Randy Johnson threw the baseball and the bird flew across the plate and he hit it.
This is glass blowing, though.
That bird flew into a fan. That shit happens. When I was in high school, we were like in the gym and all of a sudden like blood and feathers came flying out of the vent thing from the outside. And I was like, oh, that's so gross. That just made my stomach hurt again. Jumping around there like an idiot made my stomach hurt.
You damn monkey.
I think I'm going to be sick. What's wrong with my stomach today?
You probably got to go take a big old dump, Tim.
No.
Stop the mule and you kick the rump. Big old mule took a big old dump.
Yay, yay.
That's what you need to do.
God damn.
You fading?
No, my stomach just hurt really bad.
Come on, then puke on the air.
Well, why don't you take over for a second like your job is?
That's not my job.
It is your job.
Today would probably be the worst day you could ever ask me to take over. Ever.
All right, during 11 and 1, there's really never a bad time to ask you to take over, all right? It shouldn't be, ever.
Dude, check my diploma. It's not from the Connecticut
There's 2
School
grams.
of Broadcasting.
I'm holding you to this. There's 2 grams.
You never agreed to shit.
Yes,
so
you
start
are.
Stacking them up.
Doesn't matter. It's
fine.
something. It's
when it gets to 100 grams.
Requirement.
Let
No.
me know, pay off.
No.
You want to add rules? I do too.
Nope. You don't get to add rules.
Why not? Because I didn't go to the Connecticut School for
3
Broadcasting.
grams. 3 grams.
It was me 99 to go, or 97 to go.
Dude, I'm not kidding.
I'm not either. Let me know when it gets to 100, and that's when I pay off.
No, you pay it off like immediately.
I don't though.
I'm serious, or else, dude.
Or else.
You'll find out. You will find out. Legalization of medical marijuana.
You owe me 3 grams.
In Minnesota
right
would
now.
only serve to make the gateway drug more accessible to our younger populations.
Every time you use a comma or a period, you also owe me 1 more. That's 5.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
You owe me 5 grams.
Does not make any sense.
At 1 o'clock.
Can I get through a news story?
I don't know. You get some grams for me?
God, you were not focused today.
I need grams. Grams.
No, you owe me grams.
Oil. You
for
owe
your
me 5.
Smart ass.
We're even, and you owe me 5. And any more commas and periods that you use reading these news stories, accumulate grams you owe me.
You don't even have any excitement in your voice at all.
I know. I'm dead. You don't have any excitement in your voice.
See, you can do it there, so you should be able to do it every time.
I'm going to pass out after saying that now.
You are a radio host now. It's your job to put yourself into a position to entertain, not to be sit here and me entertain you
What
and
position?
you sit back and go,
bent over?
"Oh, so tired.
How about bring some oil in from once in a while?
I do bring oil in once
For
in a
me.
while. I don't have any money, so that would be a difficult situation.
Well, do what you got to do, Robert.
And no, you
Robert
now owe
Dispensary.
me 3 grams anyway.
You owe me 5.
Your excuse of that I went to broadcasting school and you didn't is the lamest shiz I have ever heard in my life, dude.
You don't know how to take a compliment, obviously.
Not when it's used against you.
How is it used against you? That's the thing.
This Minnesota bill is not going to be talked about until next year. We mentioned that at the beginning of the story. We spread out the story enough that we needed to mention it again. So we will follow that. Anger over federal marijuana policy inspired an Idaho man to shoot at the White House in 2011. Prosecutors say
I remember that.
In a court document obtained by the
from?
AP. Let me read the story.
Where's the guy from?
Well, I don't know. Let me read the story, and maybe we can find out some more information about
Start
it.
over.
How about that?
You said a blah, blah, blah man.
Maybe because you're so freaking distracting and I can't
Just
pay
start
attention.
over.
Idaho, man.
Thank you.
Idaho.
I know. I didn't know, though, bro.
I almost got you to say Idaho.
Idaho, Alaska.
Well,
Does Delaware, New Jersey, Idaho, Alaska.
The funny part about this is that got the headline, but then you know what the real headline was? He also believed that President Obama was the Antichrist. I think that trumps the marijuana issue a little bit more. Mental disability. This is not great headlines for us. The President and First Lady Michelle Obama were in San Diego when 21-year-old Oscar Ramiro Ortega Hernandez allegedly drove up to the White House and opened fire through the passenger side window using a Romanian-made
Roman candles?
Cougar?
Romanian candles?
How do you say that? C-U-G-I-R.
Cougar.
SA semi-automatic rifle equipped with a telescopic sight. His goal was to punish and kill the president, who he believed was the head of a government that was oppressing its citizens in various ways, such as by continuing to criminalize the use of marijuana. Ortega Hernandez was charged in 2011 with attempting to assassinate the president shortly after being arrested at a Western Pennsylvania hotel. Quoted in the complaint filed against Ortega Hernandez at the time, one acquaintance of the suspect stated that Ortega Hernandez wanted to hurt President Obama and referred to him as the Antichrist. This person also stated that Ortega Hernandez is convinced that the federal government is conspiring against him.
They are. According to him.
Bill Clinton joined Twitter.
Well, finally.
I wonder how much time you get for attempting to assassinate the president. Do you ever get out?
Ask Sirhan. I don't know.
As poll numbers show, Ohioans are growing increasingly comfortable with the idea of marijuana use.
Ohioans. He's Ohioan.
A Youngstown Democrat wants to give people the chance to make the drug fully legal.
Center for Broadcasting.
Robert F. Hagan has made a few attempts over the years to persuade his colleagues to allow for the use of medical marijuana in Ohio, and each effort has died a quiet death. A lot of push in Ohio for cannabis reform that gets shoved down.
I heard a lot of famous radio broadcasters come from Ohio.
5. A spokesman for the Speaker William... I should have just done this way earlier. A spokesman for Speaker William... whatever his last name is. He's a Republican. Declined to comment on the pair of proposals Hagan introduced yesterday. One is a bill that would allow patients with certain chronic conditions such as cancer or sickle cell anemia to use marijuana for treatment. 18 other states have approved similar measures. In addition to the studies that show marijuana to be a valuable treatment option for chronic pain, nausea, and seizure disorders, I have heard countless stories of how cannabis has made a difference in the lives of people who are sick or dying. His other proposal, modeled after an amendment recently passed in Colorado, would ask voters to approve allowing people 21 or older to purchase and use marijuana. The drug could be sold only by state-licensed establishments and would be subject to a 15% excise tax. With billions upon billions spent on the war on drugs with little progress to show for it, it is time for more sensible drug policy in this country, Hagan said, arguing that the revenue could help restore cuts to education and local governments.
Cuts to education.
Takes a 3/5 vote in the legislature to put an issue on the ballot.
Can you even imagine trying to convince 3 of these guys?
I think I get 3.
That's what you think, though. You don't get bribes, do you?
No. A recent Associates poll of more than 1,000 Ohioans found that legalizing medical marijuana was overwhelmingly favored, 63 to 37%, but making pot completely legal was opposed by a 21-point margin.
Stop it.
Wow. Police seize records at 20 Columbus high schools? What? That doesn't seem very
That's
cool.
not very Ohioan.
The Ohio ballot last year approved language for 2 medical marijuana issues, though neither appears likely to collect the 385,000 signatures needed to qualify for November's ballot. One group has reorganized, calling itself OhioRights.org, and plans to submit new petitions that will include legalizing the growing of hemp. Every single story I see about drugs, all you gotta do is glance through the comments, and somebody in the comments says this statement: "The war on drugs is over."
Oh, really?
Like, it's about time that we get with the times. The war on drugs is over.
Oh, thank you. Wasn't quite sure of that.
Call it an unintended consequence. Part of the growing cannabis industry in Colorado is edibles. Edibles are candy, food, and drops made with pure THC, the oil that's extracted from marijuana plants. It doesn't look, taste, or smell like pot, Dr. George Wang told Denver Health Medical Center.
Wang.
That's a potential danger to children. Well, actually, it does taste like weed sometimes, and sometimes does smell. Kids can't tell the difference, he said. They wouldn't know what they are eating or how much. He says the danger is reflected on the calls coming into the Colorado Poison Center. We've seen an increase in the exposures of pediatric unintentional exposure to marijuana. Lynn Reimer is a former DEA chemist and current president of the nonprofit organization Act on Drugs. She says many edibles look like any other candy. It looks like another lollipop, a gummy bear, a piece of peanut brittle. I've seen popcorn with THC butter poured on top. It is just too appealing for kids. Okay, so I am a law-abiding adult. I have my right to enjoy something taken away because a kid might steal it.
Yes.
And might get into it, and my parents that should be responsible for this kid can't do their job. And even if it's an accident, like, okay, so that fear and that ridiculousness is enough to take my right away as an American? No, it's not. Not in my opinion. Not at all. I don't think there's enough of a health issue for this at all. Just plain fear-mongering. Because this is some of the stories that are leading into the limits of how much you can have in your edibles. Now that edibles are starting to get better and they affect me more, hell yeah, I want to have some edibles on hand.
What? This is news to me.
I don't know, man. The last couple of times I've had edibles, man, it kind of...
Like yesterday?
Yesterday just, didn't make me high. It just knocked me out. Like, I fell asleep after the show.
Wow. So you weren't here when Jetter was here?
I was at work. I fell asleep for like a half an hour after the show.
Oh, okay.
I got no energy right now either.
Yep. I'm struggling. I'm running on fumes.
Although I do enjoy doing the show. I just hate it when I don't feel the most kosher.
So last Friday, it's been 7 days since I said you want to get some free oil for wearing a skirt, and you pretty much haven't brought it up again. I just have to assume you don't want to wear a skirt.
You already owe me 5 grams as it is now.
Did you just say you don't want to wear a skirt?
I don't know.
Are you saying that?
Yeah, I'm saying I don't want to wear a skirt and have it pictured and put on the internet.
So we're not going to do that then?
I don't know.
No, it's been a week.
So it can be a month. It can be 2 months. It
No,
can be
it can't.
next year.
It's lame. Lame.
Radio shows repeat stunts all the time.
No, they don't. Everything's original.
You know what we need to do every year is start up something like like
turkey toss.
KBPI here. No, KBPI here. This shiz we could be prosecuted for.
Oh, can you get a helicopter?
No, animal cruelty charges.
Does iCannabis already have a newscopter for weather and traffic?
We're working on it.
Okay.
I wish I could throw something at you. I really do.
You
I'm gonna
can.
throw this beer bottle at you. We should every year we should start up
I'm down.
Something fun. We've talked about this before on the show. I thought about and
we talk about a lot of things.
The owner of the station is not into this idea at all.
What does she not like?
I think we should have the Stoner Olympics, but it's not necessarily the Stoner Olympics that you're thinking about. I mean, it would include probably rolling a joint, smoking, and stuff. But there would also be running, jumping, because us as stoners running from the police, we've had to jump over fences, run through fields and bushes, hide the weed.
Ooh,
you're being chased, hide the weed successfully without
getting busted.
Getting busted. Oh, I've got games. Maybe we could have some hood lab situation here.
Can you keister?
We could start the yearly Stoner Olympics.
Can you keister is all I need to know.
We're gonna do this. I've been wanting to do this for years.
It's hot.
It's hot. God. For some reason I can't see you running or riding a bike ever, dude.
No.
Even though your name is Bike and you have bicycle tattooed on your arm.
Yep.
I can't picture you running or riding a bike, dude.
I can't picture you naked, so that's great.
That's fantastic.
Right.
I am very happy that you can't picture me naked.
It's hard to do. Even though you are naked underneath your clothes every day, I cannot picture you what you look like without them.
I was joking with somebody about 2 girls getting it on or whatever.
2 girls
and
in a cup.
they snapped back with, "Why don't you and Bike get it on?" And I was like,
Yeah. You don't have to puke. We
Threw
just
up a
know
little
it's
in my
not
mouth.
something we're into. It's no big deal.
I'm kidding, buddy.
It's all good.
Like how you attacked that. You
I
don't have to puke. You just got to say it's something we're not into, man.
You don't even
Come
have
on.
to say that. We just know that. There's nothing wrong with a little bum action.
Whoa. Did you just say what I think you said?
Nothing wrong with that. Was that illegal in Colorado?
Not my cup of tea.
We weren't expecting it, Devin. Because nothing is your cup of tea. You're a boring pussy.
Freaking mean.
Wear a
You're an
dress.
asshole.
I know. Wear a dress.
The issue is not wearing a dress. It's being pictured on the internet for life.
Why does that bother you? You're on the internet for life.
Yeah, but not in a dress.
Don't. Who knows what you're underneath that desk?
I've probably embarrassed myself 10 times more on the internet than I could ever do in a skirt, but then that would just give people fuel to be able to run with.
People would be over it. They think you're a friggin' hero.
We are not the same. I'm gonna think of something we can do for charity.
No, you don't. You keep.
We just
got
to think of a charity group that we're gonna work with, and
the TIM fund.
Yes, that is true too. I did feel a little bad about everybody was like, 20 grams is too much. Now you just try to take advantage of it. Well, no, I was trying not to even do it at all. It was your idea.
That's the thing about that, I know.
Going back to talking about edibles.
I don't want to anymore. Talk about something else.
I got like 5 minutes left, and it's like one of the last things I have to talk about.
I don't know. What are you going to do this weekend?
Going down to Hood Lab.
Besides be naked underneath your clothes.
What is your thing with me being naked right now, dude?
I don't know.
A little too obsessed with me being naked right now. You're
I'm
kind of like
so obsessed.
making me think that you're picturing me like naked.
Naked.
I'm picturing you in a parka right now, dude.
Down in Parker, I haven't been down there in a long time. Southeast of Denver. C470 or E470, right?
According to Dr. Wang,
see?
the majority of marijuana calls to the Poison Center line involve chitlins, ages 2 to 4 years old. Only children.
Little babies that young should not be eating edibles with weed in them.
How do they get a hold of them?
With their hands,
Climbed up
probably,
on the counter
and then put it in their mouths.
It is very hard for a young kid. For them, it is just candy, so they will eat it if a parent is not watching closely or if they're under the influence and aren't paying attention. So if you're a parent and you're farked up, they're saying that you may let your kid get into shit.
You may.
The medical marijuana community is a responsible use advocate and will do what it can to safeguard kids, but we can't do it all. At the end of the day, it is up to the parent. They have to be responsible and make sure products are out of children's hands. The conversation happening at the Capitol is one Reimer says should happen in every household. Every parent or caregiver should be having a conversation with kids about not taking anything from anyone. You just don't know that piece of candy or cupcake, what it has in it anymore. It's not worth the risk. See, here's another thing.
Sugar.
I don't even care that it's got weed in it. I don't like eating things from people that's homemade anyway.
What?
It's weird to me, like, if someone, like, comes in and, like, they have a homemade stuff and, like, just gives you homemade stuff.
Yeah?
I don't know. To me, I'm, like, picky. I don't know how it was made, what ingredients were put in it, how clean. I mean, I think of these things.
You're a little weird. You just eat it. Don't even think. Put it in your mouth.
That's what I usually do when I go to fast food.
Just shove it right in.
Because that's probably way worse to eat than anything else anybody could ever bring.
Hair burger, what?
Stop! Oh, my stomach. It's disgusting. All right.
That about does it here for this week as episode of the John Doe Radio Show live from Denver. Right?
It's funny when you like get the gusto to take over the show and be like, they'll take a lead.
You look like you're gonna puke.
More and more you will.
How funny is that?
What?
When I have gusto.
It's pretty funny, actually. I kind of giggle inside.
Get that shit outside.
You crack me up.
I know.
I think you should do it more. Why don't you say thanks to our sponsors?
Thank you, sponsors.
Who are?
Oh, that would be... This is where you take over.
Come on.
Element 420.
Element, FOUR20.com.
And they're at
82 South Federal Boulevard.
And they have...
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
I'm asking you.
I don't know. Inform me.
He knows, you know.
I forgot.
CO2.
Yep. Quite a bit of it.
Tange, hopefully soon.
Yeah, every time you say that, my heart stops because I think that I might have missed it.
You made me talk. You didn't miss it. Still drying. They got a nice little cure going over there.
Oh, man, I would love the Tange
Compassionate
right now.
Pain Management, Lakeville, and Lewiswood.
Lakewood and Louisville, CompassionatePM.com is where you can go to check them out. CompassionatePM.com.
You also want to mention handmade.biz.
Handmadeapparel.biz.
That's what I also wanted you to mention in last, but of course not least.
Handmadeapparel.biz. We also have Warren Edson, Edson Mate and Mets.
Thank you.
WarrenEdson.com is where you can go to if you need criminal defense, cannabis consultation, family law. I'm done for today.
Yes, I'm going to go and do my things.
I'm going to go smoke some weed is what I'm going to do, actually.
I'm going to track down some oil.
I'm going to go scrape some reclaim out of my mini.
Is it claim or is it reclaim?
I don't care. Either one, claim, reclaim.
If you smoke it the first time, it's claim. If you smoke it again, it's reclaim. It's claim till you get it, then you've reclaimed it.
I like about that. What I like about that piece, you just have to heat it up a little bit and then turn it upside down, and it just all flows right out of the mouthpiece.
Also, your assignment is to get 2 guests lined up tonight while you're at Hood Lab.
Oh, that's your assignment.
I'll have 2 guests lined up.
Okay.
But I also need you to get 2 lined up.
Nope.
And then you will.
I'll try.
Just do it. Get Derek Cummings in here finally.
I asked him if he wanted to come back in and hang out, and he said maybe.
I'll ask him again.
Even if he were to say, yeah, I'll be there on Tuesday, there's a good chance that he'd be like, oh, yeah, I was supposed to do that.
Oh, yeah. He's a busy guy. So get someone who's going to come.
Assuming I go tonight. I should be going.
Yeah. That's what your assignment is. Have a good weekend, everybody.
That's what's your assignment.
I don't need to know what mine is.
Don't assign me anything.
I make the assignments for one, and two, I know what my assignment is.
You do not make the assignment.
I just assign you an assignment that I made up.
No.
Get guests.
If you start making assignments, then this whole situation is going to be foobarred.
You have an assignment. See if you can handle it. If not, we'll have to talk about someone replacing you.
Why did you post up on my page, stop writing your own wave of butthurt?
Because that's what your was awesome. I didn't write it on your page. I just thought it was awesome. You need to tell that to people who are on your case.
Stop writing your own wave of butthurt.
Exactly. Bye.
Quit being butthurt. Until we meet again on Monday. This has been the John Doe Radio Show. You've been checking us out live. I can't believe Mike can't even stay here for like 2 seconds after this. He's like, he has to get up, throw the headphones off, and leave. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Smoke too much. Until we meet again on Monday, I'm John Doe. See ya!
Produced by Charlie Sash Entertainment. The John Doe Radio Show programming is not limited by information, culture subjects, and is informational and entertainment purposes only. We specifically include responsible marijuana reform. Listening to anyone but your father is just plain stupid. We accept no responsibility for your actions or misrepresentations, and we do not fully endorse the use of illegal drugs. You are ultimately responsible for yourself.